Hey Ashley,
Hey, Kaycee.
this is Nostalgic Nightcaps and our
Yes.
podcast, and it's our podcast.
It's ours. You can't have it.
No, no, get away. No, stay though.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
listen. You
You
can
just
pretend
can't
you're
own
friends
it.
with us. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just can't own it. We got the copyright. What are we talking about? What is Nostalgic Nightcaps?
Well, I don't think anyone really knows, but this is where we talk about the books, movies, music, TV shows, pop culture icons that we grew up with, that we loved, and some that we hated too, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes and sometimes it's like, ooh,
Uh,
that was rough.
Sometimes we loved it at the time, and then you look back and you're like,
Hmm,
maybe not so much.
questionable.
Questionable. But anyway, with it, each week we pair a cocktail or some sort of beverage to go along with it that relates in some way.
And we also do themes each month. And this month's theme in January is Mall Goth Madness, aka
Yes.
Gothawary.
Gothy. That got to be too was a mouthful.
It sure is. Before we start chatting about what the hell that all means, can you provide can you provide the schedule for the upcoming month, please?
Yes. So today we are talking about some of our New Year's resolutions for the year that relate to pop culture and nostalgia, and also just talking about Molgoths and the moth. Why I can't talk today. But the Molgoth culture, which sure we can just call it moth. That works.
And moths are kind of a part of it, so
That's true.
it
You're
could
wearing a
be.
butterfly shirt, so I mean it all works out. Next time, January 16th, we will be discussing the Beetlejuice cartoon, season 2, episode 2, the Spooky Boutique, and also just the Beetlejuice franchise in general. January 23rd will be another playlist, this time emo and
Ooh,
pop punk.
get ready to cry.
Yes, gotta cry. And January 30th, our Retro Reads book club for the month will be VC Andrews' Flowers in the Attic. Oh boy.
Also, get ready to cry of terror,
Yeah,
being
ready
upset.
to wince. So what are we drinking with our episode today?
Okay, so we are kind of doing some dry January drinks just in case anyone is
Mm,
participating.
yeah.
And so I, at, 8 p.m. at night, are drinking the Wake Me Up Inside cold brew.
Hmm. I love that.
Obviously, Wake Me Up Inside because of the Evanescence song, which is
Evanescence.
a
Classic.
pure mall goth
Oh,
goodness.
the mall
Amy
gothiest.
Lee. Yeah,
Yes.
yes. So you're gonna want to drizzle some chocolate syrup around the walls of the glass inside. A little like spookiness, I guess.
Oh, like
You know?
make it into like spiderweb design.
Yeah. If you can do that, I
Not that
can.
talented.
And then you're gonna add your ice carefully, carefully. I did not do it carefully this time. It looks like garbage.
Oh no.
Add 2 tablespoons of grenadine or just cherry juice.
Hmm.
Fill about 3/4 of glass with cold brew. Top with creamer. I originally called for chocolate creamer. I could not find any pure chocolate creamer, so I just did
Uh,
like the like sweet, what is that called? Like
Sweet
sweet
cream.
sweet cream, yeah.
Mm, that's my favorite.
Yeah, so you're gonna just want to add some creamer to the top.
Of your
Do
choice.
whatever you'd like. Then you're gonna want to top that with some whipped cream and garnish with chocolate sprinkles, shaved chocolate, or cocoa powder. I did chocolate sprinkles.
Oh, that looks good.
It's delicious.
I bet.
I'm gonna be up all night
Oh no.
just crying to wake me up inside. So that all definitely ties in with the mall goth theme that we are
Absolutely.
chatting through this month. in today and all our lives, really.
Yeah, life is a mall, and we're the goths.
Wow, that is profound.
I know. I know.
It kind of that kind of is the case. I have been thinking a lot about like malls
Yeah,
and goths and mall goths at the same time,
the
and
whole
about
thing.
how well I didn't do like research, but I was like, how would you define this? I was like,
Hmm.
Google, tell me what the fuck a mall goth is, because I understand on a spiritual level, but like on an academic level. But no, I was kind of like thinking about it, and mall goth is like an offshoot of just like goth culture, but
Hmm.
it's run by consumerism. Like it's quote unquote, it's the people who can easily buy, their outfits at like Hot Topic and Spencer's
Mm.
and are listening to more mainstream music, the more
Hmm.
dark mainstream music, but the stuff that is still played on the radio,
Yeah.
like Linkin Park and whatnot. But I just thought it was so funny because, like, when you think of a lot about mall culture, you think of the mall rats, not the movie. Well, you might think of the movie, but like the
Maybe.
like teeny bopper mall rats, I would say.
Hmm.
And the mall goth is kind of the other side of that.
It's the antithesis,
Exactly.
but still like related. Still part of the same thing.
Exactly. It's just such an iconic example of Y2K era teen identity.
Hmm.
And I would say that it really kind of came more to an end, like mall culture is coming more to an end, but when we were ending our own teenage years,
Yeah.
we kind of like followed this great progression from the 90s where we saw the Hot Topic and all like the trip pants and all that develop, and then it kind of
Yes.
got into this, scene emo era, and then it kind of all was like, well, malls are kind of useless now because we have Amazon.
That's true. Yeah. And the internet just changed everything.
Hmm.
Go from Jinkos to skinny jeans.
Wow,
Then
what a
what? Where'd he
change.
go?
The pendulum. It's such a big
That you
swing.
can fit in the leg of your Jinko pants.
You could fit two skinny jean legs into one
Oh,
leg of your
definitely.
Jinko
Yeah.
pants. So I would say that Ashley definitely encompassed more of the mall golf spirit than I did when I first met her.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was all about the trip pants, the huge ones for a while. That kind of they were hard to wear. Like it was there was a lot of fabric going on. A lot
Especially in
happening.
Minnesota, where it's
Yeah.
just wet,
Snowed.
80% of the year.
Yeah. They were dragging holes. It was a whole thing. So then I got more into the kickwear.
Okay, tell me about that.
Those were more like straight leg, usually. Sometimes they're flared more, but often different patterns, a lot of plaid going on. My favorite, as you know, was the black and red checkered pair,
Mhm.
little tiny checkered Vans-esque, with zippers, very unnecessary zippers, just to like hold nothing together, and straps that you would hook on, removable straps for no reason.
You didn't put it like you didn't put a wallet on your strap or anything?
No, they're just like crisscrossed in the back, so it's
Uh,
like an X on your legs.
purely fashion, not
Oh yeah,
function.
high fashion.
You had a pair of really cool red plaid pants that I
Yeah,
absolutely adored for a
yes.
time.
A lot of plaid. A lot of plaid
Oh,
happening.
yeah. You also you had so much good Hot Topic stuff because Hot
Yes.
Topic was the mecca
Hmm.
of
Absolutely.
the mall god. But then, all the really punk kids at school would be like, "You're a poser."
That's why it's still part of the whole teeny bopper mall culture. So you weren't the true goth punks that were like making their own clothes and listening to non-mainstream music.
Yeah, it's definitely like the suburban version of like the safe suburban version of that, I
Yeah,
would say.
the kids that wanted to be a little different.
Yes. Malls really are like more of a suburban
Oh,
entity.
definitely. And like Midwest,
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, Mall of America, like,
right?
right?
And the first mall, what I forget what it was. Also in Minnesota.
That's so funny because I swear that I just listened to a podcast about that too.
Yeah.
Yes. And because there was like an architect that made it or like that like planned this all out based on the it I think it was like in Paris the way that the shops were like set up there where that's
Mm.
what he envisioned but like inside it
Yeah,
was
which
supposed
makes
to be
sense
like
because
the outside inside like
yeah,
purely.
and what a concept.
The mall. I feel really sad that the mall isn't a thing for kids and teenagers anymore because I just have so many memories of just hanging out at the
Yeah.
mall with you, especially
Mhm. Just for hours.
hours every Friday night,
Yep.
sometimes Saturdays too.
Why not? Gotta look some more. We weren't really buying much.
We were buying like five thongs for like $5 at Charlotte Russe every single
Yes.
time.
Yep.
Every single time. Because you
Never
know
have too
what? They
many.
broke. They
That,
broke every
that is
single
true. Yep. One tiny little string.
Remember when we used to just get home from the mall and we used to just put them over our heads?
Yes.
I bet you wish you didn't remember.
So stupid.
We were so stupid. What else would you say kind of encompasses that mall goth flavor?
Well, the music, for sure.
Definitely.
Like you said, you got your Linkin Park, your Evanescence.
Hmm.
I was more on the punk side of things at the time. So the classic Ramones Misfits was what I was all about for a while. It's good stuff, but still very mainstream.
Yeah. Even though those kids still were like, Hot Topic," and it's like
Yeah.
they sell misfits on
They
Hot Topic,
have
bro.
like there's a fiend skull on the wall. Come on.
Yeah. Like they marketed Fiend Skulls like Gene Simmons likes to market like Kiss merchandise. Like they put it
Yes.
on everything. So
Mhm.
what?
Yeah. They wanted to be known, and they were.
Yeah. And they wanted to make money.
Oh yeah.
That just goes into such the culture of the time of like the selling out and like I don't know. It's just so silly because now you're like, yeah, you should only sell out. You should be making as much money as you
Yeah.
can.
Right. It's not gonna last forever.
No, it's barely gonna last.
Yeah. Very select few. Well,
Yeah,
but
musicians now are making like the least amount of money they've ever made.
yeah. Again, with the internet, there's just so much available.
It's very fragmented. It's hard to
Yeah.
become popular or even really get a following like you used to be able to. Because even a big part of mall goth culture, I would say, was also when MySpace came around, and that's
Oh
when
yeah.
scene and scenesters and emo kids and all that came out, and there was so much good music out there that you would discover. But even that was easier to find because there wasn't every single person is available to make music at that point.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun though. Just going to people's pages when you could put a song on your page, profile song.
I miss it.
I
It was
know.
kind of terrible because sometimes you'd be like opening multiple
Oh yeah.
browsers and you'd be
They're
like,
all
oh, what is that?
you couldn't figure out which one was playing.
And some people embedded it right into their page so you couldn't even
Oh
go and
yeah.
pause it.
Couldn't turn it off. But yeah, I we got you got your Green Days. Then you get more into like the grunge too, like Nirvana. Nirvana was
Definitely.
huge. Coming back
Never heard.
apparently.
Never heard of them.
I guess I think it's more popular again now. I don't know.
That's so funny how things cycle like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that also happened when we were at the end of middle school, beginning of high school, is Nirvana had like another popularity boom
Yeah.
around that time as well.
Yeah, because of course that wasn't when they were around.
Yeah. so you have all of these things that are just like a little, they're not quite hardcore. They're just like a little more rock. And then you're going into like the pop punks and the Avril Lavignes, which
Mhm.
I was and have always been the biggest Avril Lavigne fan.
Yes.
And I remember like being made fun of so hard for loving Avril Lavigne. And this is so embarrassing,
Oh
but
no.
I wore a tie like once or twice a week in sixth grade.
Yeah.
I
I
want to cry just thinking about it.
I mean,
It was not cool.
it
It
was a
was not
thing.
cool.
I think it's pretty cool.
No. Thank you so much.
As a sixth grader, I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty, that's bold.
thank you. Yeah, I couldn't pull it off. I tried many bold things in sixth grade that was made fun of about them to the point where I was like, well, I'm done with that.
No more.
I'm I'm just gonna be boring now. And then until that was until eighth grade and ninth grade. And then I was like, and now I'm gonna be slutty. I'm just gonna have cleavage, non-cleavage everywhere.
We saw
That'll show
the
them.
one Manny Degrassi episode and it was over.
You know, I think that happened after I had my spin around
Blood
the
awakening.
yeah. But I definitely identified with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, speaking of Degrassi, I was gonna say definitely there was like not a whole ton of gothy characters on television at the time. I would say that in
That is
movies
true.
there was like gothy, but it was because they were like a witch or they were like those were the people that we like they look up to, I guess, like the
Yeah.
on the craft and whatnot. But Degrassi did have one of the most iconic, like straight up goth characters ever, and she pulled it off
Yeah.
so well.
That's that's our Ellie.
I think probably once a day about the fact that she was when she was fake dating Marco, remember that?
Oh
And
yeah.
they went to the beach and she had a parasol.
Oh my God.
I think about it
So
all the time and
funny.
just giggle to myself. I'm like,
Yes.
that is the silliest thing I've ever seen, but also I love it. I wish I could have been that
Oh
bold.
yeah. It's just like fun. It's just you can just be whatever. You can just do whatever you want.
She just like did it. Not
Mhm.
because she wanted to like prove something or because like she was like, ah, so this is what I like.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And that's why going back to our last Degrassi episode, that's why I don't believe the same thing of Ashley
Yeah.
because she did go her goth route, but it was me the tie in sixth grade. It doesn't work.
And it like you said it was kind of like in response to other things. It was like she had like
Yeah.
bad things happen in her life and then she's like, I'm goth now, you know? It's kind of it wasn't because she just liked the style or whatever.
I remember this is just gonna turn into another episode about Degrassi, apparently. I remember when it's when she was dating Jimmy again, and then they break up or whatever. It's
Yeah.
very silly. She's like putting on eyeliner like in a mirror in her locker, and I remember you sitting next to me being like, "You don't need to put any more on."
Oh my God.
You were like, "That's too much, Ashley."
Stop it. I don't
It
remember.
was. It was it's like one of those moments where it's just pops into my head every once
Yeah.
in a while. I'm like, why were we just like yelling at the TV playing Degrassi in your basement bedroom?
They're not listening.
Nobody cares.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then that was a great episode though, where Jimmy was like, "Can't you just like not be goth?" And
Right?
she was like, "Okay," and then she dressed normal, and she was like, "This is who I am."
Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then she gave him that note and she was like backing up and like just staring at him. Do you remember
Yes, I do. Oh no.
that? And that's why we could not take Ashley seriously.
No, either of us.
Yeah.
Her or me.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely one. the most, I would say, iconic goth character on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the original, she wasn't really goth, I guess, per se, but The Breakfast Club. I forget the
That is
character's
true.
name. Ali
That
Sheedy.
is true.
What is her name?
Oh my God. I can only think of Ali Sheedy. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, me too. But then they changed her.
I think movie-wise, I would say that she is probably one of the most iconic. But yeah, I hated her makeover. I thought she looked
Yeah.
way better. God.
Oh yeah. And like you missed the point. John Hughes. Come
John
on.
Hughes, come on.
You missed the point in all your movies.
I thought you were gonna say Jane Lane and Daria.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
Hmm.
I loved her so much. Her style. And Trent.
I know. You're like, oh. When I went to 90s Con 2 years ago with my friend Vanessa,
Mhm.
I one of the days I dressed up like Jane Lane. Like I
Yeah.
had tights with shorts and a red button-down shirt.
So
It's cute.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. And I like, I mean, obviously in cartoons, they usually just have one outfit. So it was all the time. It's always the same.
Yeah. There's this episode that kind of reminds me of you because I have rewatched the show multiple times in the last year
Yeah.
where she starts dating this like rockabilly guy
Oh,
and they're like constantly dressing up in like old outfits
oh, I
and
love that.
it's so cute, but she's like, I'm so sick of this. It's too much because he just wants to
Yeah.
only do that.
Hmm. That's a
But that
lot of
was a good
work.
episode.
Was she doing like the hairstyles?
Yep.
Mm,
That's a great
I
episode. You should
remember
go back and
that.
watch that.
I should. I need to watch the whole series.
The last episode is haunting.
I don't remember.
She has having like an existential crisis in a refrigerator box outside.
Oh
It
my.
is haunting. Yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
And I was like, this was what you left us on?
Don't do that to us. One thing too that's I feel so central to it is like the stickers and patches and pins. Like,
Buttons, yeah.
yes. That
Yes.
was especially because you could just buy, they were like, at that point, I'm sure they were like $3, you know? They were
Yeah.
so cheap and you could just add it to whatever you already had. So you didn't have to buy a whole outfit or whatever.
Yes.
Very
And so you could
teen.
be like, look at how cool I am and look at how
I'm
unique I
so
am. And
alternative.
some of them would say as much. Like they had the
Yeah,
little like
that
buds
is
that were
true.
like,
Yeah.
I hate everyone.
Yes. Normal people scare me.
Yeah, yes, that's what I was trying to come up with.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I probably had that button.
I I'm sure I did as well.
Nobody will scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like those puppies.
Gross. Nope.
But I think that where we really came into our mall goth selves was because of being scenesters,
Mm,
emo and then scene, I would say,
yeah.
which are two different things. Okay. And MySpace,
Oh yeah.
which I think we need to like just have an entire episode one day about
About
MySpace.
MySpace, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on there.
Yeah. And I mean, and I'm just saying with just like our experiences on MySpace, not even like a let's research and explore. Like I just want to talk about all the creepy 30-year-old men that would hit on me on
Oh yeah.
MySpace.
Oh God. Yep. Good times.
Yeah. But I still have so many great pictures of us dressed
I
up.
know. Oh,
Our skinny jeans and our Argyle sweaters and our
yes.
like just the most side bang you could ever side
With a tiny little clip.
a little kids clip.
Hmm.
Yeah,
In the
I
middle.
love to rock a like a little kid's accessory at the time.
Yep. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It is weird. And like the because a big thing on MySpace was like the tutus and stuff. Like
Mm,
I never
yeah.
wore that. I wanted to. I wanted to rock a tutu so bad, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the cards for me,
Not on that
really.
level.
Yeah. I think I could still rock a tutu, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Do it.
should.
Do it.
And the knee-high striped socks
Those
and
are the best.
oh my God. Just what a time to be alive.
I know. It's different.
Yeah. And I feel like now, whenever I would wear a lot of black when I was like 10 years old or like 12, 14, when I was a teenager,
Mm.
my parents' friends would tease me and be like, "Oh, you goth now?" And now I feel like they would just be like, "Oh, you emo now?" You know,
That's
like I
true,
feel like
yeah.
emo has really replaced that
It
signifier of being
morphed.
depressed and moody and morbid. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm here for it.
I always say I'm a retired emo kid because I
Yeah.
would say that a lot of the things I wear and how I wear my makeup and all that is still heavily
Oh
influenced
yeah.
by
It's got the
that.
remnants.
We kind of were discussing how we wanted to have like a central question, central idea thing that we come back to with each episode. It
Hmm.
has to do with the theme of the month. And so this is going to be centered around obviously goth, mall, anything like that. So what should we ask ourselves and the audience, the listeners this month that we're going to keep coming back to? Like what's our central thesis?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think I want to like come back to keep coming back to like why you and I kind of ended up on this path that we
Yeah.
were on because we could have
Yeah.
taken a million other paths.
Oh,
But
definitely.
one of the reasons why I think that the mall goth stuff is so appealing and why we're doing the throwback things that we're doing this month is because from a young age we loved a weirder, darker, spookier, moodier thing.
Oh, yes. Always.
So
Yeah.
I guess like the idea of why, what drew us
Oh
and
boy.
what does a girl, what do
Gonna turn
two,
into therapy sessions.
I mean, it could. What, why? Help me formulate this idea.
What? That is hard to phrase because I keep wanting to say like what makes someone a mall goth, but no. Like what's the origin of a mall goth?
Yeah. Like what's the spooky girl origin story?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, I like that. Okay, let me write that down. Perfect. I love a good origin story, so.
Oh yeah. It's our villain arc.
I've had many
Kind of.
villain arcs. So.
Yes. Keep them coming.
I'm about to have the biggest one of all this month.
Oh dear, yes.
Oh my
Part
God.
two.
And actually, building on the all the shitty things that are to come, I do think that there's going to be a lot more horror. Like we might have another like teen horror renaissance around this time.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think that there's definitely going to be a lot more like body horror because of just the women being stripped of rights left and right,
Yeah.
and ghost stories.
Hmm.
A lot more ghost stories. I've actually been noticing that in the freelance work I do. I've gotten
Oh,
multiple like YA ghost stories. And I'm
interesting.
like, oh, that is
Huh.
interesting. And I wonder what that is all about. So be on the lookout for more ghosty things coming up in 2025, 2026.
Yeah. Huh. And probably also just like fantasy in general.
Mm, escapism.
Hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. So shall we shall we move into our friendship catch-up portion of the episode?
Yes, we should.
This is an excuse to talk about all of the media things that we would otherwise just be like, hey, oh, I read this. You should read it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Then we never do.
This is like an excuse for us to like make each other like more and watch more and read more of the things that we want the other to do.
Yes, yes. It's a
And
good
just a
excuse.
little chit chat.
Yeah.
But this month, we are first going to start off with New Year's nostalgic resolutions. What do we want to read, watch, do this year in relation to pop culture, past or present? Do you want to start off?
Let's do it. Mine to start with is to read more graphic novels and other like adaptation type things.
I love that.
Originals and also adaptations. Like I've been loving the Goosebumps ones and the oh so good.
I love that. That was so funny when I told you. You were like, "Oh, I just finished it. It's so good." And I was like, "Oh, I was just telling my eye doctor
Yeah,
about how
I
he
was
should
like,
read the graphic
uh,
novels for Goosebumps."
what?
I was wearing a Goosebumps sweatshirt
Excuse
at the
me?
time, spreading the good word because he was like, "Oh, I used to watch those all the time and read them,"
Yes.
and I was like, "You still should."
Yeah. I love that it's a way to like because I do want to like revisit things from the past, but also I want to be current as well. So that just kind of combines it, adapting it into a new perspective.
Yeah, I love that there's a lot more graphic novels coming out now because I feel
Hmm.
like there's a lot of kids that don't like reading, but
Yeah.
I think in that art form, it's much more enjoyable to some people.
Hmm. Some people need the more visual
Yeah.
and just quick. Like they're so quick to get through,
Hmm.
but you still get the full story.
Like I have all the Sweet Valley Twins ones. There's like
Oh,
four or five, and they're just super fun because
yeah.
they're a little updated, but they don't it doesn't take away from the overall like feeling of nostalgia, but it also has these
Hmm.
really cool pictures and also their dad, Daddy Wakefield, is he hot?
Oh boy.
Hot, hot, hot. Anyway, that's a great one.
Yeah,
I should do the same.
adaptations in general
Love it.
and retellings.
Ooh, I love retellings as well. Mine kind of matches up with that because my first one is I want to go back and watch more Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh,
Because I found on YouTube that people have uploaded like full like 3 hour blocks of like one Saturday
oh
morning
wow.
with like commercials and
Oh,
everything.
that's
And
amazing.
one morning when I I think that Ryan was like out of town or something, I just sat down, had like a bowl of cereal, and I just I just watched like 3 hours worth of cartoons,
Oh
and
my God.
I was invested because usually I'm like on my phone, I'm like doing
Mhm.
a million other things, but I was just like, yeah, this is so much fun.
I mean, eating cereal, it's perfect.
Ugh. In my pajamas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brings you back.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with like finding the little joys in life that I'm really
Hmm.
trying to do this year. Like really trying to do not find like a bunch of other external things to please
Hmm.
me, but instead
Yeah.
of like of a simple one I can just sit down and I can do by myself or with Ryan or
Hmm.
whoever. Um, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Just finding joy in things that you already have or know.
Yeah, exactly. And it is like such a nostalgia. It's like pure nostalgia comfort too.
Yeah. And the commercials, I
Hmm.
love old commercials.
I love toy commercials so much.
Yeah,
I'm just obsessed with toy commercials, especially the old ones
they're
that
good.
I'm like, I want that, I want that, I want that.
Yeah. I feel like commercials are just such a like glimpse into the time period because it's like 30 seconds, but you get so much, so
Yeah, you
much
get
information.
fashion, you get design, you get like
Slang,
the slang. Yes.
everything.
It's
It's
so
all there.
interesting. That is such a good point. We should do one of like commercials. We should do an
Oh, that
episode
would
of
be fun.
commercials sometime.
I have a few.
Off the top of my head, I got a few of my faves.
Yes.
The mine one of 'em is the talk boy.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that one? That one's
Or you could
iconic.
change the voice.
Yeah.
Hmm. The one that sticks out to me the most was the Pizza Hut one, where it was the kids playing baseball. That's the
Hmm.
song like I play right field.
I
I don't know.
don't think I ever saw that one.
I'm pretty sure it was on the VHS for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think. I
So
think
specific.
that's why I saw it
Oh,
so
by the
many
way,
times.
my nephew is like really into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now. It's really
Aw,
cute. I
cute.
love it.
Who's his favorite? Leonardo.
He doesn't know them yet. He doesn't know them like that. He just likes to fight them against each
Yeah,
other so
I
far.
suppose.
He hasn't really seen a lot of the media. He's just been like doing it himself,
Yeah,
making his own stories, I guess.
there you go. Taking after his auntie.
Ugh, he does. It's so cute. He has a little journal.
Aw,
He writes his name and like draws
oh
little
my
things and
gosh.
writes like mom. It's so
That's so
cute.
cute.
Oh, I
Mm,
love it. Oh.
adorable. All right. My next one. I want to, this is not a nostalgic at all. It's quite the opposite. I want to watch more movies in theaters, like as they come out. Because I always I see so many things and I'm like, I need to watch that. And then I just never do.
Hmm.
Like occasionally.
Um,
But
I want to say that I almost said the same thing and I
yeah.
forgot
Oh,
that that's what I was gonna put. Because I actually see quite a lot of movies in theaters, but
yeah,
I feel like I don't see enough, and I do the same thing where I'm like, I want to watch that, and then I just will never watch it if I don't watch it in the theater.
exactly. Yeah. Like it'll never be something that I just like sit down and watch at home.
Yeah, I need to be like in the dark, trapped, can't take my phone out.
Right?
It's like an experience, you know?
It
It's like you
is.
need to be there, and we have an Alamo Draft House like a mile
Ah,
from us,
amazing.
so it's really the best experience you can have.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is just, it's so different. Like you
Mhm.
actually are engrossed in it, like in your cartoons.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can't be on your phone unless you're rude.
Unless you're rude.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Wicked's now on streaming because I was gonna say Ryan and I went and saw Wicked,
Yeah.
and then we tried to see it again, and it was still like sold out forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
But I really want to see Nosferatu in
Oh
theaters.
my God, me too. I need to.
Yeah.
That was, I used to love the original.
Oh, really? Oh, I hated
Yeah.
it. I just watched it this year, and I found it this last year, and I found it to be so confusing and boring.
Oh, really? Loved it. I don't know. It's so creepy. I feel like just being so old too. Like the the film quality is like terrible. Like some
I
it
think
like
that that's what made me
crackles
feel
in and out.
uncomfortable. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like
Yeah.
it. But that's why I want to see the new one. I heard it's really good.
I know, I do. I really want to see that one.
I also hear you get Nosferatu pee-pee, so
Really?
I don't know. I guess
That's
so.
interesting.
So full frontal,
Wow. You get a little Count Orlok or
something like that.
I had not heard that.
Okay. Well, you're not on the same corners of the internet as me.
I guess not.
Sorry. You have
Dang.
a theater nearby.
Yeah, it's like 5 minute walk.
Oh, and that's even more perfect. Go, like have a glass of wine and
Hmm.
watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna do it
oh,
at least once
that's
a
such a
month.
good deal. That's a great goal. That's I think the perfect goal. 'Cause
Yes,
that's 12 movies, baby.
doable.
And then in those months where like there's not any big good movies out, maybe you'll discover a hidden gem.
That's true. Something I normally wouldn't try.
Hmm.
And then definitely wouldn't try not in theater.
Yeah. I want to get a pop culture tattoo this year. Probably
Oh, I love that.
Clueless.
Yeah, do it.
I haven't gotten a new tattoo in a long time.
The last one I got was at your wedding.
Oh, let's not talk about that. 'Cause that got so infected.
I know, it's so bad.
Mine
So
looks like shit
splotchy.
too.
I just I did not take care of mine. That was my
Did you
fault.
go with the pool afterwards?
I didn't go to the pool, but it was the morning, or it was the night before the morning we were leaving. So
Mm.
in the morning, I didn't have like stuff to clean it or whatever properly. And I was like, well, it's just, I'll be home in a few hours, but no. Nope. Get it right away.
Well, yep. Take care of your tattoos. Yeah, I do want to get like a clueless tattoo maybe, or like a Sweet Valley High tattoo since Francine Pascal just passed.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
that like really sticks with you.
Yeah. I also do. I, of course, probably would get a Taylor Swift tattoo.
I do. Well, I want to get a Taylor Swift tattoo with you and Colleen
Yes, we need to.
really badly. I think that'd be
Yeah,
so much fun.
let's do it.
Maybe when Reputation is
Oh,
actually announced.
in
Yeah,
10 years?
whatever that'll be.
Never.
What's your next resolution?
I mean, let me just throw this in while we're on the topic of Taylor Swift, as if we won't be again in 5 seconds. But this is only slightly pop culture related, just more personal, actual resolution. I need to stop letting midnights become my afternoons. It's becoming a real problem. It's bad. I mean, I work until 11:30 p.m. So I come home and it used to be like it just keeps getting later. I used to go to
Yeah.
bed at like 2:33 and then it was like 4 and then it was like I go to bed at like 6 o'clock now.
I know.
What's wrong with
There
me?
is a small window of time where Ashley and I could actually interact because
Yes,
we have like the
I'm
complete
still awake
opposite
and
schedule.
you've already woken up. I don't know. It's an issue.
Yeah.
So there's that.
What are you doing during that time?
I mean, different things. Reading, TikTok,
Well, if
TV,
you're doing
the huge.
cool, cool things,
Yeah.
that made me cry a little because I was laughing at the phrasing of that. You're
Yes.
ridiculous. Okay, my next one is to read more nonfiction books centered around cultural critique.
Oh,
What I mean by that is like I want I just want lots of books that are just like The Bling Ring.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to read over and over. I read The Bling Ring maybe once a year
Oh my
because
God.
it's one of my favorite things to read. Because it's just like it's like true crime, it's pop culture, it's misogyny, it's just like everything I love. I love misogyny.
It's all in there.
But I actually did find, and I can't, let me look it up. So Marcia Clark, if you don't know the name, uh, she was the prosecutor in the O.J. Simpson case,
Oh, okay.
and she wrote a book about that because every single person involved in that wrote a book about it.
I bet.
Everyone. But she also now just like writes true crime books and fiction as well. But she wrote this one book called Trial by Ambush.
Hmm.
It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's also on the audiobook is on Kindle Unlimited as well. But
Mm.
it's this old case that has not gotten much attention, and it's about this woman who like this group of people are charged with the murder of this older woman. And but the whole like all the attention is on this young woman that is like at the center of it.
Oh.
And it's just really interesting how she talks about that woman's life to begin with and how it's just like really sad because of the things she was put through as a woman and then
Mm.
her how being a woman was detrimental and also favorable to her because she was beautiful and
Yeah.
really charismatic. So there's all these different like parts of it. And Marsha Clark also like cuts in at times and compares it to her own experience
Mm.
being in the limelight in the O.J. Simpson case, but
Yeah.
not in a way that's like overbearing or like takes over the story. It's just like an interesting comparison.
Hmm.
So I want like books like that where it's like about like how society reacts to women and how women
Yeah.
are wronged even when they don't always do the best things, you know.
Right. Yeah. They get disproportionate treatment,
Yes.
mistreatment.
Yes. Be aware of what you're reading online, guys.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
be more aware of what you're reading and how you feel about women in general
Yes,
online.
absolutely.
Because it just the same problem keeps coming up and coming up. And every time I'm like,
Hmm.
we need media literacy so
Hmm.
badly in this
Yeah.
country.
I, the whole Blake Lively thing, man.
It's exactly what I'm talking
Yep,
about,
I know. I could
obviously.
tell.
Yeah,
And it's like,
it's the only thing on my
yeah,
mind
like
right
I
now.
don't think she's probably like a great person. She seems not that great. But still, she didn't deserve any of that.
And we also don't need to caveat our support of a woman by saying, I don't really like her, she seems bad, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, what can we just say, wow, what happened to her was really bad.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what,
it's like,
in general?
hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about you. I'm in a part of a lot of internet circles where it's
Yeah.
just like, I get it, you guys don't like her, but that's not
Right.
the point.
I know. Yeah. It's like, even if you don't like someone, yeah, you get it.
I'm always just like, I side with women. Just like, I'm always gonna side with the woman. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
just always gonna side with the woman.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. And that's why it's kind of funny because as I'm like reading like a book like that or like thinking of any woman who's been maligned in the past, I'm like, oh, so in 10 bucks we're gonna or 10 years we're gonna get a book about how shitty we were to like lively. Why can't we just do this now? Why can't we come to
Yeah.
terms with this now?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I could go
Whole
on forever,
thing.
so we have to
No,
move
it's
on.
okay.
We have to move on.
It's a perfect for my next one, which was to read more like female focused books
Love
by
it.
women, about women, not only like romance where it's about men.
Mm.
Just get rid of the men altogether from everywhere.
That's 2025. Get rid of the metal together.
Yes.
No, I absolutely love that because you were saying that you wanted to read more short stories by women,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great goal to do. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I did this last year, and I found a lot of really great ones.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear about them too
Mm-mm.
much. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to
Yeah.
say exclusively. That'd be kind of hard, but definitely mostly mostly women authors.
Yeah. Joyce Carol Oates. She's my girl.
Yeah, I gotta
She
check it out.
she's like a master of horror, but it's like everyday horror, and it makes
Mm.
you. It's not like like I think that some of her books are straight up horror, but the ones I've read, I actually have this book right here, Haunted. It's short stories.
Oh,
Um, they're all so uncomfortable that it
yeah.
has taken me over a year to read this book.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have to pause in between every single short story and be like, oh my God, what did I just read?
Yeah. Yeah. I bought this was total impulse purchase on the TikTok shop, by the way. It is a book of short stories called I Will Not. Oh, what is it called? Let me look it up real quick, make sure I get it right. It's called I Do Not Apologize for My Position on Men by Ray Wild, and it's just a
Love
bunch of
that.
short stories. It's horror too, but I only have read the first one so far, and it was extremely good, but very uncomfortable
Yeah.
and very I won't even give anything away, but it's good.
Ugh. Okay,
Check it out.
will you
Ray
send me that
Wild is
when
the name.
I was gonna say I'm gonna read that because I love a good uncomfortable story that's gonna take me a year to finish.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? I need that. I need to not just be comfortable with what I'm reading all the time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. There are many reasons.
For many reasons, yeah.
Indeed.
And okay, this is my last one.
Okay.
I want to listen to more iconic soundtracks.
Oh, yes.
So just like, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but I just like I was thinking about the Romeo and Juliet one where I was like, I
Oh,
just need to like put that on. like all
Yeah.
the time, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. I want to listen to more like soundtracks because I feel like the soundtrack is such a lost thing now. Well,
Yeah, it
obviously
is.
movies have soundtracks, but you don't really listen to the soundtrack anymore. Like I
Mhm.
used to own the Space Jam one and the Men in Black one, and those were like my jam. And
Titanic. Oh man.
movies need to have, this is a resolution for all of you people making movies that listen to this podcast, which is no one. Um, you need to do more songs for movies, like more theme
Mhm.
songs for movies. I
Oh
miss
yeah.
that so badly.
It was so good. The 90s, all about
Mhm.
them. But yeah, I feel like that's a good way too to like without having to sit down and watch the movie, like to
Mhm.
revisit a movie.
Like in the background, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while you're
because I
doing
can
other
listen to
things.
music, but I can't watch a movie while doing anything else because I'll just
Yeah,
get distracted.
it's too much. Too much
Yeah.
happening.
Hmm.
And that is a perfect one for my last one, which is to just listen to full albums in general.
Was I talking about this with, was I talking about this with you? No, I think it was with
I don't think
my
so.
dad or something.
Yeah.
But I was saying I just like Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, like that those are such great whole pieces of
Yeah.
music that
Mhm.
it's just so great to just sit down and listen to all of it.
Yeah. And I've been doing that lately with something like I listened to Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter and
Mhm. I love that.
Secret of Us, Gracie Abrams, whatever. Um, and
Whatever.
they're whatever. No, I love her. But um it's just so different. Like
Mhm.
you get the hits, which I love, but it's like it just tells like a whole story. It's just a
Yeah.
whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and also like listening to them intentionally.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sitting down and Ryan and I sometimes will just like put a record in and like sit on the bed and just like kind of chat and like have it on and
Hmm.
it's something else that like really brings you back to being a teenager when you would just like stick a
Yeah.
CD in
Hmm.
and
And look at the
like put your
booklet
hand,
while
look
you're
at the
doing it.
booklet.
Yep. I'm all about lyrics, man.
I know you are.
Yeah.
You're always just spouting off
I
lyrics.
know. Oopsies.
No, I love it. I love it. Because
Thank
it's
you.
very, it means that you're like really looking at the song as a whole instead of just being like, oh, this sounds good.
Yeah.
The poetry of it.
Hmm. Yeah. Never mind.
What were you gonna say? Tell me.
I was just gonna say another song lyric.
I need you to do that right
Say y'all
now.
don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. A lot of people do just listen for the actual music,
Yeah.
which is
Which is
fine if
fine
that's
too.
what you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Not me.
So I think that one thing that I've gathered from both of our resolutions is like we want to be more intentional with our
Yeah.
con consumption of media.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And more just present.
Yes, instead of doing a million things while you're doing it.
Hmm.
Yeah, same. Hmm.
Yeah, true.
Oh, that was fun.
That
We'll
was
have to check
fun.
back and see if we do any of these things, but
Yes.
it's nice to like have in the back of your head. You're like, oh, maybe I
Oh,
should just sit here and watch that.
hmm. I said I was gonna do that, didn't I? So
Yeah.
better do it.
I think that that brings us to the end. That was a lot
Yeah.
longer than I thought it was gonna
Oh,
be,
wow.
which is
A lot
fine.
of good stuff.
Um, the end. But we will be back next week with more. What did I call this? Mall Goth Madness?
Small goth madness.
Gothwary. Doesn't make any sense. It could be
Yeah.
February. It could be.
Most of them, you know.
So, what should people do? Oh, rate review on whatever
Rate and
platform you
review.
are currently listening.
Follow us on Instagram and Nostalgic Nightcaps.
You actually, I lost my train of thought completely.
I was like partially interrupting you.
and go be your most mall gothy self out there
Yes.
in January. It's like the perfect
And do it with
month.
intention.
It's a perfect month for it. It's so
It
gloomy,
is.
at least here
Yes.
in Chicago.
Very. Yes. Do
All
it
right,
up.
do it up. See you later. Bye.
Bye.